Hi. Firstly, let's meet our member first before we continue with the presentation. My name is Nur Aida Adriana binti Muhammad Azori and my ID number is 2022895616.
My name is Nazarina Shafika binti Muhammad Razif and my matric number is 2022457264.
My name is Siti Nurashira binti Cik Rezimi and my ID number is 2022820562.
My name is Ashatun Balkis binti Zulkifli. My ID number is 2022896014.
My name is Tuan Nur Fakira Asma binti Tuan Muhammad Mulkan. My matric number is 2022872894.
Firstly, let me give a brief overview of the background of this country, Jordan. Jordan is a small country in Western Asia with a large population which has recorded more than 11 billion and 100 million inhabitants as of 2023. Jordan has a high human development index, ranking 99th, and is considered a lower middle income economy with limited natural resources. Jordan also has a mixed economic system which includes a variety of private freedom combined with centralized economic planning and government regulation. Jordan's economy is categorized as an emerging market economy. Besides that, poverty and unemployment in this country grew as a result of the significant population growth, slower economic expansion, and growing of public debt. Introductions. High rates of poverty, unemployment, hyperinflation, a significant budget deficit, and a government debt that approaches 90% of gross domestic profit (GDP) are just a few of the economic problems that Jordan faces. The GDP of Jordan has experienced a notable 25% growth as a result of remittances from Jordans employed outside. But given that the labor force is growing at a rate of 4% annually and that unemployment and poverty are at 50% and 11.6% respectively, so more jobs must be created. High population growth is one of the factors contributing to a very high unemployment rate in this country. This is due to the large number of people in this country who do not have access to employment opportunities, and the ones that are available to them are not particularly good. It may also result in deceleration of economic growth. This country has maintained a steady average growth rate of 2.5% over the past decade. However, there is a room for improvement in generating more job opportunities for Jordan's young populations and for bringing more women into the labor market.
In 2014, unemployment rate stood at 11.9%, going down by 0.7% compared to 2013. This happened because of difficult regional circumstances that affected production and growth rate as well as efforts to attract new investment. For 2015, unemployment rate rose by 13%. Jordan's economy is expected to slow down in 2015 due to effects of security spillover, particularly in the first half of the year. In 2016, unemployment continued increase by 2.2% compared to 2015. Unemployment increased because there is mismatch between the processes and those demanded by current labor. This situation represents structural employment. Structural employment occurs when composition of labor force does not respond quickly to meet changing demand. For 2018, unemployment still increased because of decrease in welfare as measured by per capita income. This led to worse unemployment. Last but not least, for my part, in 2019, unemployment finally decreased. Unemployment rate for this year stood at 16.8% decreased by 1.5% compared to 2018. This is because Central Bank of Jordan Open Market Operation Committee has decided to reduce interest rate by 25 basis points.
In year 2020, the rate of the unemployment is 19.21%, up from 16.80% in 2019, plus a rise 2.41%. This is because of the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. The government enforced an economic lockdowns to contain the virus, restricting people's movement and non-essential economic activities. Cyclical unemployment is the term used to describe the state of the economy. Cyclical unemployment is a matter of serious concern compared to frictional unemployment because the latter occurs involuntarily and continues until the economy comes out of the recession and takes several years to recover. The prohibition of public meetings, ceremonies related to religion, tourism activities, and other events led a slowdown in the economy. While in 2021, the rate was increased by 0.63% compared to 2020, reaching 19.84%. The average rate in Jordan for 2020 was 19.90%, a 0.65% decline from 2021 because of the public debt increase in 2022. In other words, the rising levels of public debts are leading to a shrinking of the fiscal space, reducing government's room for fiscal maneuvering. There is a positive correlation between unemployment and public debt. The last one is the unemployment rate in 2023. The percentage rate is almost unchanged from 2022, remaining at 19.05%. However, due to the expected to have gross domestic product increase of 2.7%, the unemployment rate in 2023 decreased by 0.14% from 2020.
Here comes the important discussion for overcoming the unemployment rate in Jordan by implementing monetary policy. This policy is crucial for reducing unemployment as it is swift, effective, and forceful. Monetary policy is aimed to achieve higher economic growth, stability in price, and full employment. Jordan used open market operations, legal reserve requirement, and interest rates. For open market operation, or known as OMOS, banks may purchase government security and treasury bills from individuals as well as institutions to increase the money supply. In Jordan, OMOS are conducted by the Central Bank of Jordan (CBJ) as part of its monetary policy tools. At the beginning of 1988, when the CBJ began selling and purchasing government debt security, the CBJ turned to open market operation at a late stage of this phase. However, this instrument has had very limited impact due to the insufficient issuance of such securities as well as the weakness of the secondary market for such security. The combination of high stock of external public debt with an expansionary fiscal policy and accommodating monetary policy resulted in an exchange rate crisis. Jordan also used a legal reserve requirement which refers to an amount of money that a bank keeps in the CBJ without interest in order to ensure that it is capable of fulfilling its obligation in the event of a sudden withdrawal of deposit. A recession may lead banks to reduce reserve requirement in order to raise cash resources of commercial banks, allowing them to provide loans, resulting in an increase in the economy's money supply. In order to offer banks some additional liquidity, CBG has decided to use the required reserve ratio or RRR on deposit held by banks from 7% to 5%, which resulted in a 550 million increase in liquidity for banks in response to the corona pandemic in March 2020. Reducing the RRR for banks enabled them to invest for return by allowing them to have idle funds. However, the ratio should not be reduced in close quarters, especially when there is excess liquidity with bankable banks, which indicates the availability of certain projects that qualify for borrowing.
For the interest rate, the purpose of it is to increase aggregate demand and economic growth, to bring in money and leading to more spending and investment. The Central Bank of Jordan's Open Market Operations Committee has decided to reduce interest rates by 25 basis points to stimulate domestic consumption and investment. That will positively affect the rate of economic growth in the region because the lower interest rates can increase the economic growth. In 2018, due to the Federal Reserve four seasonal increases, Jordan Central Bank increased interest rate 4 times in that year. That keeps money supply tight and prevents dollarization. But on the other hand, it burdens borrowers whose net profits and incomes are declining in both nominal and real terms. In March 2020, the CBJ cut the interest rates on all its instruments by 50 basis points. The CBJ cut the overnight deposit window rate by 75 basis points and by 100% basis points on the other policy rates to comply with the CBJ main interest rate, with discount rate that is 3.5%, interest rate on overnight repurchase agreements which is 3.25%, overnight deposit window rate 2%, weekly or monthly repurchase agreements 2.5%, and the interest rate on weekly certificates of deposit 2.5%. The IMF said with a 2.6% economic growth rate forecast for 2023 still insufficient to improve the standards of living. Jordan needs to try implementing the discount rate method, since this method also can decrease the unemployment rate, even though only 1 to 3% will be reduced. However, Jordan should maintain their current monetary policies, since consistency can help to reduce unemployment. Thus, Jordan is now viewed as a success story as they have consistently implemented sound macroeconomic policies, fiscal policies, and monetary policies, even though the unemployment rate has decreased only 2 to 3% each. Jordan also does other methods to reduce unemployment, such as fiscal policies and direct control policies. So, by maintaining the efforts, it is not impossible that the unemployment rate will decrease as they targeted.
Conclusions, to sum up, in this group project, we have collected the data of Jordan faces a significant issue with unemployment. Unemployment can affect the economy of this country. So we have found that the method to reduce unemployment rate is expansionary monetary policy. The goal of expansionary monetary policy is to increase money supply and activities in the economy that will help to increase employment and growth in a country. So we hope that both the government and people need to be proactive in raising living standards and productivity in order to guarantee the general economic progress. In this approach, the nation's economy is stabilized and the unemployment rate is decreased.